They say healing begins in the heart. But for me, it began in the kitchen. For years, my body felt like a mystery. Some months I'd wake up full of energy, and other times, even small things like sala or grocery shopping felt overwhelming. Mood swings, fatigue, irregular cycles. I blamed stress, maybe lack of sleep, but deep down, I knew something was off. My doctor called it a hormonal imbalance. She offered pills and diets, but I wanted something deeper, not just treatment, but peace. One evening, while scrolling through reminders, a line caught my heart. Your body is a gift from Allah, and He sent its manual through the Sunnah. That night, something clicked. Maybe my healing wasn't in the latest trend, but in the timeless teachings I had ignored. So I made a promise. For the next 30 days, I would return to the table of the Prophet, not as a diet, but as ibadah, an act of worship through nourishment. Day 1, honey. They say honey is liquid light. And now, I understand why. I began every morning with a spoon of raw honey in warm water, saying Bismillah. At first, it just felt symbolic. Sweetness after struggle. But within days, something changed. The bloating I carried for months began to ease. My focus improved. Even my morning fatigue lessened. Science says honey balances blood sugar, heals the gut, and supports the thyroid. All roots of hormonal balance. But beyond science, I felt connection. As if Allah was gently reminding me, healing comes when you return to what I made pure. Every sip became dhikr. Day 5. Dates. I used to see dates as a Ramadan treat, but now they became my daily source of strength. 3 to 5 ajwa dates with breakfast. Soft, sweet, and grounding. I remembered the hadith, the home without dates is a home without food. During the second week, I noticed fewer mood dips before my cycle. I wasn't snapping as easily. It was subtle, but real, like emotional balance returning drop by drop. Dates are full of iron, magnesium, and fiber. Perfect for women, especially during menstruation or postpartum phases. But what touched me most was the Sunnah rhythm. Eat slowly, eat with gratitude, and stop before feeling full. Day 8. Barley, Talbina. If honey was sweetness, Talbina was comfort. The Prophet said, Talbina soothes the heart and relieves sorrow. So I made it like my grandmother once did. Barley cooked with milk and a touch of honey. The first spoon felt like calm, not the loud excitement of caffeine, but quiet, gentle peace. I started having it during stressful days. And subhanallah, the anxiety that once clouded my mornings began to fade. Science now calls barley a natural mood stabilizer, rich in beta-glucan, which helps serotonin and blood sugar, but I called it Sunnah therapy in a bowl. Day 12. Milk. I never realized how spiritual a cup of milk could feel. The Prophet loved milk. He even made dua for barakah in it. So I started drinking warm milk after Isha, just as he did. At first, it was just part of the routine, but then something shifted. I began sleeping better. No tossing, no 3 a.m. anxiety. My body rested like it hadn't in months. Later, I read that milk contains tryptophan, a natural sleep aid that also supports hormonal recovery. But the peace I felt wasn't from nutrients alone. It was from aligning my body's rhythm with the Sunnah's peace. Day 16. Olive oil. Eat olive oil and apply it, for it comes from a blessed tree. That hadith echoed in my mind as I drizzled golden oil over my food. I replaced my cooking oils with extra virgin olive oil and took 1 teaspoon with black seed each morning. Within 2 weeks, my digestion improved and my skin glowed again. But the biggest change was invisible. My energy stayed stable throughout the day. Modern science says olive oil reduces inflammation and supports insulin sensitivity, 2 major triggers of hormonal chaos. But when I said Bismillah before taking it, I wasn't just nourishing cells. I was remembering the one who created them. Day 20. Black seed, nigella. They call it habatus sauda, the blessed seed. The Prophet said, in it, there is healing for every disease except death. I started taking a small pinch of crushed black seed with honey in the morning. The taste was strong, slightly bitter. But I reminded myself, even medicine and faith is a form of worship. Over the next days, my immunity felt stronger, my PMS cramps lighter, and strangely, my mood steadier. It wasn't instant, but consistent, a balance quietly building inside me. Black seed supports metabolism, balances hormones, and fights inflammation. But I realized the real cure wasn't the seed alone. It was trusting the one who blessed it. Day 25. Fasting. This wasn't food, but the lack of it. And yet, it nourished me more deeply than anything else. The Prophet used to fast Mondays and Thursdays. So I tried. The first few days were hard, headaches, cravings, restlessness. But by the end of week 4, I started to understand the secret. Fasting didn't just discipline my body, it disciplined my thoughts. My cortisol dropped. My focus sharpened. My heart softened. And I began to see the connection between body and soul. When I said no to food, my spirit said yes to peace. Reflections after 30 days. 30 days passed, and I sat at the same kitchen table. Only this time, I felt lighter. Not just in body, but in soul. My energy was stable, my moods calmer, my cycle more regular. But more than the physical healing, something deeper healed. My relationship with food, with my body, with Allah. I realized how far we've drifted. We chase diets and detoxes, yet forget that the Prophet already gave us the formula. Eat with gratitude, eat with moderation, and eat what's pure. I used to think of food as something to control. Now I see it as something sacred, a bridge between deen and dunya. Each sunnah food became a reflection. Honey, for sweetness after hardship. Dates, for grounding and strength. Barley, Talbina, for emotional peace. Milk, for rest and restoration. Olive oil, for purity and strength. And black seed, for resilience and faith. Fasting, for spiritual realignment. Together, they didn't just heal my hormones. They healed my perspective. Now, when I look at my meals, I see worship. When I sip honey water, I whisper Alhamdulillah for the cure Allah placed in nature. When I break my fast with dates, I remember how simplicity carries power. When I say Bismillah before each bite, I remind myself, healing doesn't begin when medicine works. It begins when faith returns. To every sister listening, maybe your healing isn't far. Maybe it's in your plate, your habits, your niyyah, because when you eat with intention, every bite becomes dhikr. And when you follow the sunnah, even your body remembers peace. So if you ever feel lost in your health journey, whisper this dua with me. Ya Allah, let my food be my healing, my patience be my medicine, and my gratitude be my cure. Because true wellness isn't just about balancing hormones. It's about balancing your heart with your Creator. If this message touched your heart, share it with a sister who needs healing. And remember, the sunnah isn't just a way to live. It's a way to heal.